From Canto 9 today, Srimad Bhagavatam. It is a special day today, our Diwali celebration here at Bhaktivedanta Manor. And so we'll read something of Lord Ramachandra's pastimes from chapter 10. So I don't know which verse is on the board. Which number is that? 32. Okay. This is just after Lord Ramachandra has rescued Sita. After Ravana has been defeated, Mother Sita has been found in the Ashoka, in the grove where she was kept prisoner, and now Lord Ramachandra continues the next part, his return to Ayodhya. After giving Vibhishan the power to rule the Rakshasa population of Lanka for the duration of one kalpa, Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Bhagavan,
placed Sita Devi on an aeroplane decorated with flowers, and then got on the plane himself. The period for his living in the forest having ended, the Lord returned to Ayodhya, accompanied by Hanuman, Sugriv, and his brother Lakshman. When Lord Ramachandra returned to his capital Ayodhya, he was greeted on the road by the princely order, who showered his body with beautiful, fragrant flowers, while great personalities like Lord Brahma and other demigods glorified the activities of the Lord in great jubilation. Upon reaching Ayodhya, Lord Ramachandra heard that in his absence his brother Bharat was eating barley cooked in the urine of a cow, covering his body with the bark of trees, wearing matted locks of hair, and lying on a mattress of kusha. The most merciful Lord very much lamented this. When Lord Bharat understood that Lord Ramachandra was returning to the capital Ayodhya, he immediately took upon his own head Lord Ramachandra's wooden shoes and came out from his camp at Nandigram. Lord Bharat was accompanied by ministers, priests, and other respectable citizens, by professional musicians vibrating pleasing musical sounds, and by learned brahmanas loudly chanting Vedic hymns. Following in the procession were chariots drawn by beautiful horses with harnesses of golden rope. These chariots were decorated by flags with golden embroidery and by other flags of various sizes and patterns. There were soldiers bedecked with golden armor, servants bearing betel nut, and many well-known and beautiful prostitutes. Many servants followed on foot, bearing an umbrella, whisks, and different grades of precious jewels and other paraphernalia befitting a royal reception. Accompanied in this way, Lord Bharat, his heart softened in ecstasy and his eyes full of tears, approached Lord Ramachandra and fell at his lotus feet with great ecstatic love. After offering the wooden shoes before Lord Ramachandra, Lord Bharat stood with folded hands, his eyes full of tears, and Lord Ramachandra bathed Bharat with tears while embracing him with both arms for a long time. Accompanied by Mother Sita and Lakshman, Lord Ramachandra then offered his respectful obeisances unto the learned brahmanas and the elderly persons in the family. And all the citizens of Ayodhya offered their respectful obeisances unto the Lord. The citizens of Ayodhya, upon seeing their king return after a long absence, offered him flower garlands, waved their upper cloths, and danced in great jubilation. O king, Lord Bharat carried Lord Ramachandra's wooden shoes, Sugriva and Vibhishan carried a whisk and an excellent fan, Hanuman carried a white umbrella, and Shatrughna carried a bow and 2 quivers, and Sita Devi carried a water pot filled with water from holy places. Angada carried a sword, and Jambavan, king of the rikshas, carried a golden shield. O King Parikshit, as the Lord sat on his airplane of flowers, with women offering him prayers and reciters chanting about his characteristics, he appeared like the moon with the stars and the planets. Thereafter, having been welcomed by his brother Bharat, Lord Ramachandra entered the city of Ayodhya in the midst of a festival. When he entered the palace, he offered obeisances to all the mothers, including Kaikeyi and the other wives of Maharaj Dashrath, and especially his own mother Kaushalya. He also offered obeisances to the spiritual preceptors such as Vashishta. Friends of his own age and younger friends worshipped him, and he returned their respectful obeisances, as did Lakshman and Mother Sita. In this way, they all entered the palace. Upon seeing their sons, the mothers of Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna immediately arose, like unconscious bodies returning to consciousness. The mothers placed their sons on their laps and bathed them with tears, thus relieving themselves of the grief of long separation. The family priest or spiritual master Vashishta had Lord Ramachandra cleanly shaved, freeing him from his matted locks of hair. Then, with the cooperation of the elderly members of the family, he performed the bathing ceremony Abhishek for Lord Ramachandra with the water of the 4 seas and with other substances, just as it was performed for King Indra. Lord Ramachandra, fully bathed and his head clean shaven, dressed himself very nicely and was decorated with a garland and ornaments. Thus he shone brightly, surrounded by his brothers and wife, who were similarly dressed and ornamented. Being pleased by the full surrender and submission of Lord Bharat, Lord Ramachandra then accepted the throne of the state. He cared for the citizens exactly like a father, and the citizens, being fully engaged in their occupational duties of varna and ashram, accepted him as their father. So this is the verse with the purport. So I'll read maybe the first paragraph of the purport. It's quite long, so please bear with me. But I hope you're getting into the story, the mood of the pastime, just as Lord Ramachandra is about to return after such a long, long absence, with all the citizens in deep, deep distress at his absence. Purport. Prabhu, people are very fond of the pattern of Ram Rajya, and even today politicians sometimes form a party called Ram Rajya, but unfortunately they have no obedience to Lord Ram. It is sometimes said that people want the kingdom of God without God. Such an aspiration, however, is never to be fulfilled. Good government can exist when the relationship between the citizens and the government is like that exemplified by Lord Ramachandra and his citizens. Lord Ramachandra ruled his kingdom exactly as a father takes care of his children, and the citizens, being obliged to the good government of Lord Ramachandra, accepted the Lord as their father. Thus the relationship between the citizens and government should be exactly like that between father and son. When the sons in a family are well trained, they are obedient to the father and mother, and when the father is well qualified, he takes good care of the children. As indicated here by the words Swadharma Nirata Varnashram Guna Gunan Vitaha. The people were good citizens because they accepted the institution of Varna and Ashram, which arranges society in the Varna divisions of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, and the Ashram divisions of Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. This is actual human civilization. People must be trained according to the different Varnashram occupational duties. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Varanyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. The 4 Varnas must be established according to varying qualities and work. Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Shri Shagonitai ki, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki. The first principle for good government is that it must institute this Varnashram system. The purpose of Varnashram is to enable people to become God conscious. Varnashrama Charvata Purushena Parapuman Vishnu Raratyate. The entire Varnashram scheme is intended to enable people to become Vaishnavas. Vishnu Rasya Devata. When people worship Lord Vishnu as the Supreme Lord, they become Vaishnavas. Thus people should be trained to become Vaishnavas through the system of Varna and Ashram, as they were during the reign of Lord Ramachandra, when everyone was fully trained to follow the Varnashram principles. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshrim Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So as we start, we pray for the blessings not only of Lord Ramachandra, but maybe more interestingly, maybe for the blessings of Love and Kush. Because when they were reciting the Ramayana one day, it was done with such feeling and such heartfelt sincerity that Lord Ramachandra pricked up his ears and was listening in an enchanted manner. So Lord Ramachandra is here at Bhaktivedanta Manor, on the request of Srila Prabhupada, delighting his devotees. And in Lord Ram's presence, we can recite the Ramayana, discuss some of his pastimes, and we can celebrate Diwali just as Prabhupada asked us to also. He said Diwali can be celebrated by lighting many, many lamps and placing them in all parts of the temple. That way the whole festival can be observed. And the following day is Govardhan Puja, when sumptuous prasadam can be distributed en masse. So we follow both these festivals here at the manor. Now, of course, some people celebrated Diwali yesterday. That's according to the Indian timing. But here we're following the calendar adjusted for the Western time zones. So therefore, it doesn't really make too much difference which day you celebrate it on. The whole period is one of great festivity. And of course, Diwali is celebrated by many people as a 5-day festival, including Dhanteras and something happened. Something happened. Dhanteras and Kali Chaudas and Naraka Chaturdashi, which was yesterday or the day before, depending on how you look at it. And all these pastimes are very special because they relate, they're an interesting mix. Naraka Chaturdashi is a pastime connected to Lord Krishna, where this Naraka demon had captured Naraka Bhaumasur. This demon was very interesting because he was actually the son of Mother Bhumi. And you would be surprised as to how a son of Mother Earth herself, who is such a pious, pious individual, and it is upon her prayers that Lord Krishna agrees to manifest in this world as Lord Krishna, when she and Lord Brahma go to the milk ocean. Yet somehow she had a bit of a wayward son, Bhaumasur, who did all sorts of interesting activities, stole Indra's mother's earrings. Can you believe it? Stole Indra's mother's earrings. And then he also stole this parvat, this on top of the mountain. There was this place where the denizens of heaven would come to sport on top of Mandara mountain, and he stole that as well. And he did all sorts of interesting activities, and he kidnapped a load of princesses from their fathers and kept them all imprisoned in a fortified city. So we celebrate that as part of the Diwali because it happened around this time. And it's interesting, this period is very, very special to everyone. In the Bhagavatam, the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra are not described at huge length. And there's a reason for that. It's not because they're less important. It's because, as is explained to Parikshit Maharaj, you have already heard these pastimes at length. Because descriptions of Lord Ramachandra's pastimes would be going on constantly, because they're so delightful and full of such adventure and lessons. So Parikshit Maharaj heard from Shukadev Goswami the essential core principles. And often, as the Bhagavatam does, the essential devotional principles are the ones that have been emphasized. The essential devotional principles. The way we've read some of these verses, they're not written exactly like that in the Ramayana, Valmiki's Ramayana, although the storyline is identical. It is all there. And as Prabhupada says in this purport, people want Ram Raj. They want the kingdom of Ram without Ram. Now it's very nice that at least once a year people celebrate Lord Ram's pastimes, and they celebrate Diwali. And they offer lamps for the pleasure of the Lord. Now in their minds something else may be more prominent. It perhaps is the acquisition of wealth done, the pacification of Mother Lakshmi, so more of that may come in the future. And there is the offering done in a very ceremonial way of lamps to welcome the Lord back on his Pushpak Viman. And these ceremonies and these traditions are very nice, but they're not the complete picture. Because what is of more interest for the devotees of the Lord, you could say the committed devotees of the Lord, is the mood and behavior of the residents of Ayodhya that enticed Lord Ram to come back. Lord Ram, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is not particularly in need of a position. He doesn't need to be the king. He doesn't need a whole fanfare. As soon as the request came from Maharaj Dashrath, well, he wasn't able to utter that request, but in the end, Kaikeyi had to speak it for him. Your father wants to send you to the forest. Lord Ram immediately took that message on his head with great happiness, with a pleasing countenance. No complaints. None of, but I deserve this, none of that. Just, if it is your will, my father, I will certainly do this. And so he went to the forest. So he's not attached to anything. And even on his return, he only agrees to come back to Ayodhya when certain conditions are met. So in this whole pastime, Bharat is very, very instrumental, very important. Of course, you can just imagine the condition Bharat was in. When he first heard and found out that Lord Ramachandra had been banished to the forest, he went into a fit of rage and said, no way will I allow my mother Kaikeyi to benefit from this heinous act that she has committed. He was even contemplating punishing her. And so Bharat, when he found out, Lord Ram had already left. Lord Ram had left. And Bharat, after some time, came to the forest, came to the place where Lord Ram had made his residence. And this was the Chitrakoot mountain, which is probably about a distance of about 5 hours drive from Ayodhya. And that's how far it is. So Lord Ram had traveled there, and there's whole pastimes described in the Ramayana of King Guha and how he helped them in their initial phases. And so Lord Ram was living on this mountain, Chitrakoot, with many sages, etc., in the vicinity. And Bharat Maharaj came there. Lord Ram was sitting, Sita was there, Lakshman was there, doing their different duties and whatever. And they heard a big commotion. And Ram said to Lakshman, Lakshman, go and see what's happening, what's going on. Lakshman climbed a tree and saw in the distance an enormous army. And he came back to Ram and in a very frightened manner reported, Ram, there's a massive army coming. We better do something. Put Sita safely in this cave, and you come with me and we'll defend. And Lord Ram said, Lakshman, have another look. Look carefully. What is the flag that they are carrying? What is the flag of the army? So Lakshman climbed up and he said, yes, I recognize this flag. It is the flag of our kingdom, Ayodhya. And then he could see Bharat is there, and he could see the big elephant is there, and different things are there, which reminded him that, yes, this is the army from our home. And then he became even more concerned. He said to Ram, he said, this is Bharat, and he has come now with a huge army. Not satisfied with the fact that you have been thrown out of the kingdom, Bharat Maharaj has come to finish you off and to take the kingdom permanently for himself. When Ramachandra heard this, he was most upset. He said to Lakshman, don't speak like this. This does not befit you. This is not how a correct person behaves. You know full well that Bharat has nothing but love for us, for both of us, and for the whole kingdom. And in our absence, he almost certainly is lamenting and in a very traumatized way, somehow barely keeping his life affairs together. So don't speak like this. And Lakshman, of course, accepted the advice. And then a whole scene happened. Some messengers were sent ahead by Bharat Maharaj to try to find Lord Ramachandra. And then Bharat Maharaj himself came, and the rest of the army stayed some distance back. And Bharat Maharaj made very substantial, heartfelt prayers to Lord Ramachandra. And he said, I condemn my mother. I condemn the vow my father took that caused this tragedy upon yourself. The entire citizens of Ayodhya have come with me. They're all here. None of them want this situation that's happened. I'm immediately ready to give it up and to have you come back and be our worshipable Lord. I can no more rule this kingdom, Bharat Maharaj said, than a small pigeon can flap its wings in front of Garuda. Words to that effect. He gave many, many analogies, many, many things. And Lord Ramachandra responded with principles of dharma, how the duty of the son is to follow the father's instructions. And if he were to break his father's vow by not following those instructions, then his father would be liable for sinful reactions. This was Lord Ramachandra's mood. Vashishta Muni was with them in the party, and he was sent forward, and he tried to do the same. Then there was some other person called Jabali who even spoke some bogus philosophy to try to get Lord Ram to return. Lord Ram chastised him. They tried many, many things. And none of it worked. So finally, Bharat Maharaj took out an ornate pair of wooden shoes, ceremonial shoes which were inlaid with gold. And he offered them to Lord Ramachandra and said, from this point onwards, these shoes will rule Ayodhya. And he requested Lord Ram to stand in these shoes, to put them on his feet. And Lord Ram placed his feet on those shoes and then stood back. And Bharat said, I will take these shoes and install them on the throne of Ayodhya. And I will rule on their behalf. And that is exactly what happened. That is the mood of Bharat. That is the mood of a devotee, a sincere servant of the Lord, that he wants to do what will best serve the Lord under any and all circumstances. Now what Bharat Maharaj did for the next umpteen years of the exile, which seemed like an eternity, is that he stayed outside Ayodhya in a place called Nandigram, not too far away. You can visit that place. There's a little temple, there's another little place you can go down, where it is said Bharat performed tapasya underground, all the while ruling the kingdom. Shatrughna would be there, relaying messages, carrying out the affairs of the state, and Bharat Maharaj largely stayed there. He stayed in that place performing tapasya for 14 years, while conducting the different affairs of the state. And you can imagine the entire kingdom, although functioning, was functioning as if on a robot kind of mentality. The driving impetus, the loving inspiration, all of that is missing. But somehow things are happening as a result of expert management by Bharat, Shatrughna, and the others. And Lord Ramachandra had given them an instruction that you should rule this kingdom, because without a proper leader, the citizens will be bereft. And therefore, however you feel about the situation that is now happening, you now have a duty to perform. Lord Ram said, I will be the kingdom of the wild, I will be the king, the monarch, the emperor of the wild animals. But you need to be the king, the emperor of the citizens of Ayodhya. And with that instruction, those brothers fulfilled that role. Of course, Lakshman was with Ram, and Shatrughna and Bharat largely dealt with the needs of the state. So at the other end of the story, after the exile is finished, Lord Ram is returning, as we just read, and he's on this Pushpak Viman, and he comes back. But it's said about a day in advance. Lord Ram sends a little advance party, specifically consisting of Hanuman, to meet Bharat Maharaj.